tip.
Good afternoon. It is January 25th, 2018. You're listening to a Little Column A, Little Column B, hosted by Will Limonos and co-hosted by Zach Bishop. How you doing today, buddy?
What's going on, Will? Pats are going to the Super Bowl. There's basketball on TV every night of the week. It could not be better.
Man, is this like a rerun? Can we just rerun last year's podcast? Do we really have to do a whole other Super Bowl talk about the Patriots? I mean, I'm a little tired of talking about it, and I'm rooting for them and a proud fan supporter of them. But is this a little too much? I don't know.
For me, it is not too much, but I can definitely feel the fatigue at work. I've got a Jets fan that sits next to me. I've got a Pittsburgh Steelers fan that sits next to me, and a Denver Broncos fan that sits next to me. Not one of them has even bothered to come over to congratulate me. I think and I've been real quiet this year. I haven't really been, none of their team. I guess the Steelers did okay. I didn't mention it to them at all. When they lost, just hey, I'm just gonna be happy. I'm not gonna needle anybody on this. I'm having the success. But yeah, now one of them has come over to congratulate me, ask about how they think about the Pats' chances against the Eagles. So I think there's been some fatigue out here on the East Coast. How about for you out on the West Coast?
It's very bizarre out here. So I too have a lot of New York fans and New Jersey fans and people from that area. And the strange thing about this, especially for Giants fans specifically, is the Eagles have never won a Super Bowl, so they have no wins. That's one thing that they can stand proud of, saying, hey, we're better than you because we have this and you don't have any. On the flip side of that, you can't root for the Patriots, right? Like that's not allowed. They're an arch rival.
This is one of my favorite parts about this. Is all the memes on Facebook and everywhere where it's just people are just torn. It's like, well, do I want to root for Tom Brady or want to root for these crazy Eagles fans that are throwing full bottles and cans of beer at the Vikings fans walking into the stadium?
It seems a bit excessive, if you ask me. But I will say this: for all of you fans that are sick and tired of hearing all the Patriot talk and seeing all the Patriot wins, we did lose twice, and I will say the most we've ever won a Super Bowl. I bet none of you guys remember this. It feels like we dominate the regular season, so you forget the score of all these Super Bowls. The most we've ever won is 6 points, and that was last year. The crazy comeback from 28-3 with the overtime win. So even from a Patriots fan, that was very exciting for me. That was probably one of the better days of my life. I bet it was an entertaining day for a lot of you viewers who have no dog in the fight. So the Patriots are back, and you're likely going to see another close game. We've only won by 6, so it's probably going to be less than 6 is what I'm calling. What did the line open up with? Do you know what the line did?
Opened at 6.5. It's down to right around 5. I guess there's been a couple and might even be tens of millions of dollars bet at one time on the Eagles. So it kind of brought the line down.
Well, I'm very excited for it, even though it is a bit repetitious. I kind of wish we could just get right into the game right now. Although I think I'll take Gronk getting a couple extra days rest. I don't know about you.
I've been in the same spot of, oh man, there's not going to be any football this weekend. How can we get to football quicker? And then pairing that with, you know what? Let's let Gronk have an extra week to kind of try to figure out whatever's wrong with him.
Well, I don't want to get too much in the Super Bowl. My guess is we'll have more of a whole podcast kind of around it once it gets a little bit closer, especially once Media Day kind of passes. But right now we are prime NBA season, so let's talk some of that. We have a lot of excessive drama between not only players, but players and referees. It just seems like everybody suddenly wants to fight everybody, and I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Drama! It's all over the place.
So all right,
it's the middle of January. This is kind of the slow part of the year normally, where all the teams are just trying to get to the All-Star break. You get a week. You just kind of can relax. The season started 2 weeks earlier this year, and I think it's just starting to wear on people a little bit. And yeah, just in the past couple of weeks, just really odd. There's not a lot of fighting in the NBA. If you don't know, to play basketball, you have to use your hands, kind of a lot. And when you punch somebody, there's a good chance you're going to hurt yourself. So there's usually a lot more just kind of hold your back moments, but we've had some legitimate punches being thrown.
As well as continuous and excessive post-game trash talking that has attempted to be physical interactions, which is bizarre to me. I imagine like even as the most ticked off I could ever get would be to actually physically hurt somebody in the game. But as soon as the game's over, I kind of go back to normal will. I don't know if that's the mindset of most athletes, but for me, there's a game will and then there's a post game will, and even the greatest of the emotions, I don't think I would be so envious and so furious, especially in a regular season game, over that. So the whole Houston Rocket Clippers secret passageway locker room nonsense. It's all just fake drama for me. I don't really see it as anything we need, want, or should continue to encourage out of these guys. This is not good either. But I'll ask you this:
I think
if
it adds.
if you're the commissioner of the
Go
NBA right now, are you more concerned of players versus players or referee versus players? Because we've had a lot of referee drama right now, and to me, this is kind of, I don't know what came first, but now it's two problems, and I feel like one may fix the other, or if you don't fix one of them, it's going to make the other one even worse.
Any publicity is good publicity. I think that these little heated moments, I think it's showing that the players care, and I think that fans are more interested in knowing that the players care rather than to have none of this at all, like a zero tolerance policy. I'm sure the commissioner really doesn't want players going through secret tunnels to end up in locker rooms where they said, well, there was no on purpose, hey, we're going to start a fight, but tempers are pretty high still after the game. It was a rough game that could easily have exploded into something that was worse, but nothing did. So I think that we're all right. It just adds a little bit of extra drama, a little extra flavor to kind of get you going. The average fan that isn't all about the X's and O's, just get your juices flowing a little bit.
I yeah, it's so fascinating to me, especially because I feel like we went through an era of the NBA where everybody was aggressive like this and truly did actually want to get physical, and that's always been talked about of how much softer all this younger, newer generation is, and that they wouldn't have made it with the hand checking and all of that kind of drama of the past, and now here we are at the forefront of it. And I don't really want it. Like this is ugly. This isn't what I could see it. It all makes sense now. Like I feel like I might have wanted players to care about individual games a little bit more. And now looking at this and kind of getting what I asked for, I don't want this. I don't want this at all. I don't want referees getting basketballs thrown at them, and I don't want players trying to find secret ways to find another one. Or I don't want cops getting called in locker rooms. It's not what I want. All right. Is that so wrong now? Like, can I take it all back? The regular season doesn't matter, and that I don't want players. I'll take it all back. Just give me with the basketball from the past 10 years that I like. Give me that era. I don't want anything earlier than that, and I don't want anything we're getting right now.
It's too late. We're already in. We're already talking about it. Every time I see it, one of the first things I go to you and I name the two players and say who would win in a real fight, who's gonna win, and then the hashing back and forth because we kind of know these guys and maybe we know where they're from or maybe we got a history, but we really don't know. So it's just one of those conversations like no one can be wrong. So like they never really end. They just kind of keep going until someone just kind of gives in. And I just like those conversations.
I feel like the most unexpected guys now too are starting to get a reputation. Like this is how I get famous. This is how I get rich opportunity. And good for them for capitalizing them. There's certain names. What was it? Aaron Afalo, great shooter, decent
Did you know
basketball
he was
player.
still in the NBA?
I hadn't heard his name in a while. I mean, I feel like he's kind of always been. See, Aaron Afalo, in my opinion, if on the right roster, could certainly help the roster. He just unfortunately skipped from bad team to bad team and hasn't managed to. He hadn't had the chance to be a role player on like a team that really had a threat where I think he could thrive in. But apparently he's still in Orlando. I don't know how long he's been there, but now he's swinging, and it's like, hey, Aaron. Well, I remember Aaron. He's back. A little strange
Oh
to
yeah,
see
he
that.
took,
So that
he took a big old swing.
Oh yeah, he did. So that was bizarre to see that. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see more lesser known guys becoming more aggressive at an opportunity to get publicity, like you said. All press is good press, even if it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see that coming.
I don't think you'll see that just because if you're one of the premier guys, you don't get fined a percentage of your salary. You get fined, you know, game check, or I guess the game check would be a percentage, but a lot of times the fines are $10,000, $50,000, whatever it's going to be. if you're one of these lower players, I mean, if you're a young guy and hoping to get your name out there for social media, I guess, but I don't think that coaches are like, oh yeah, cool, we got a tough guy that can't keep control of his emotions. That money, that's a lot of money for those lower guys. Like that starts messing with those paychecks home. I don't think this is a just a hey, let me get attention. I think there's some there's some real tension going on out there.
All right. Speaking of money, I thought Adam Silver made a great statement earlier this week talking about how which it's not even a theory at this point. I think it's just when at a point in time gambling suddenly becomes legal for professional sports in the United States. I think we're getting to the point where it's just a matter of when, right? That this is going to happen. But he's going to be saying if it does happen, he wants 1% of it all. Is that greedy? Is that fair, or is that not even enough?
I think right now that's too much. Uh, I've been doing some research on this. There's a lot of illegal gambling that's going on already right now, and so I feel like if you transfer over, hey, because the consumers are the ones that are gonna, the gamblers, they're the ones that are gonna take the brunt of this. If they have an illegal option versus a legal option, some will switch over to the legal option. But if it's you're already losing money most of the time, and now you're going to have to lose even more money. I think you might be tending to go towards the illegal option. The casinos right now, I heard they make about a 5% profit. So if you take 1% away from that, you're cutting their profits by 20%. That's a pretty big cut, and I think it's too much right now. I like that Adam Silver is being very proactive. I know they had a big meeting this week where the NBA was the only entity that showed up. The NFL didn't show up, baseball didn't show up, NCAA didn't show up. And it's just like you said, this is going to happen.
It's
on the
gonna
way.
happen. It's gonna happen. I don't
Just
know. I don't know if it's good or
it's
bad,
getting
but it's
closer and
gonna happen.
closer in the states. I don't know if it'll be similar. We talked a few weeks ago about how marijuana is becoming legal in more and more states. I think it's going to be a similar situation where it's not going to be across the country all at once, but it'll be pockets here and there, and it'll be pretty widespread, mainstream. I mean, it's already pretty mainstream, but will be, you can put bets probably, even right at the arena.
And I think that'll encourage arena attendance. I love horse racing, and it's not even that like watching horses run. Like if there wasn't gambling included, that wouldn't be nearly as entertaining. But somewhere someone is passionate enough, and they'll do it without that. But there's not a large audience or a group of people that are in that section. There's such a larger audience that are like, oh, gambling? Yes, now I can be a part of this.
Oh yeah, think about if you're like you said, you're a casual horse racing fan, and so you go and you say, okay, I'm gonna go, for the afternoon. There's 10 races. I'm gonna bet $100. So kind of $10 spread out. You could do the same thing for a basketball game. You could go. You could bet you could bet each quarter. You could bet the game. You could probably bet on how many points a certain player is going to score. So you could kind of keep an eye on one player. Oh, there's all sorts of things that you'd be able to do that I think that would definitely attract the average fan. I mean, some of these games. I mean, there are a lot of NBA games, and even now with it only being partially legal, there's a lot of times that the only people that are watching these games, or maybe even like the end of these games, are the people that have bet on the spread and want to know, is Atlanta gonna beat Orlando by more or less than 8 points? Because that has to do with whether they're gonna get money or not. Where any rational basketball fan looks at it and goes, "Oh, well, you know what? This team's up by 8 points. This game's over. I'm gonna switch over to something else on TV."
It's gonna happen, and clearly we already know. And I see the benefit of this, and I like that Adam Silver is being active in it and not reactive. Like everyone else is going to be so far behind of all this to be like, what do you mean we have to deal with this now when it happens? He's at least being progressive at the fact of saying it's going to happen at some point. If nobody else is going to utilize this or try and get ready for this, I'm going to start now. I'm going to get the ball rolling. And if anything, he's going to get his league and himself paid. This is an aggressive approach. All right.
I saw a funny. I can't remember if it was a headline or a tweet talking about how if this were to go down, say they get exactly what they wanted, they get 1% of everyone's bet. I mean, that's going to be a huge number. If that league brings the money in, there's the whole player revenue sharing thing. That means player salaries are going to go up. If this all happens all at once, this could be similar to the when the money for the TV deal came in, and that's how the Warriors were able to get Kevin Durant. That was a unique, crazy one-time situation. And so the one direction it went was, oh man, with this new gambling money, uh, Team X is able to acquire enough talent to go at the Warriors. And then on the flip side was, oh man, with this influx of money from gambling, the Warriors were able to add Anthony Davis and stay under the salary cap.
Let's hope that doesn't come. I don't. Let's not talk too much numbers, but quick little did you know thing right here. I bet you didn't know this, right? Betting man, right? Here you go. Who had the worst plus minus? We talked about plus minus in a previous podcast and how it's super irrelevant and not even important. I hate the statistic of it. I don't think anybody should pay attention to it. And this is a perfect example of why. Who had the worst plus minus in January so far? I'll tell you how low it was. It was minus 119. 119.
For all of January?
For all of January thus far, which we're 25 days in. So I'm saying all of January.
I'm going to have to say, yeah, the Lakers got to win. Like, somebody on the Kings?
Nope.
Maybe not Zach Randolph because he doesn't play that much. I'm trying to think like who.
I'll give you a team name if that. I'll give you a conference first. All right, it's in the Eastern Conference.
In the Eastern Conference,
and they're a playoff team.
Maybe somebody a playoff team in January. Trying to think who.
He plays for Cleveland.
Somebody on the Sixers. The Sixers have been struggling recently.
He plays for Cleveland.
Ooh, Cleveland. Well, Cleveland's been struggling all the time.
Some people might say he's the greatest player to ever play. His name is LeBron James.
Ooh, it's LeBron.
LeBron has a terrible plus minus of this month so far, which they have a terrible winning streak. They don't have a winning streak. They have a losing streak. Yes, this is how irrelevant the plus minus is. All right, LeBron James is not minus 119. All right, that's not true in any scenario. Your team's never worse off with LeBron on the floor. More evidence, the plus minus. I'm going to keep pulling these up as soon as I see them.
But they have been losing a whole bunch, and he probably plays the most minutes on a losing team.
That's how he ended up with the negative plus minus greater than anything else, because he plays more minutes than anybody else. So, but you know what? That doesn't mean anything. This is why this is more proof to the evidence that this stat is completely ridiculous.
I think that you can't just take one stat and just use it blindly, but you can use it to show, the Cavs are struggling. They need to figure something out.
You're right. All right, they need to trade LeBron James. That's clearly the solution here, right? That's got to be what
Like I said, you can't just go and look at one stat and then just go, oh, well, this stat's ridiculous, so all stats are stupid.
All right, not all stats are stupid. You
kind of look, and I'm sure you can look at some of the other stats, and they will give you some interesting angles that you might not have noticed on your own.
All right, so that stat is stupid, but I want to talk about something that's even more stupid, and that's this stupid Tide Pod challenge nonsense. This is still going. And not only is this still going, this is increased off the awareness. All right, YouTube and Facebook and all these other social media sites right now are doing their best to ban and withdraw all of these uploaded videos like immediately, just because it spreads and people get popular, and if my popular kids in school do it, it just grows. They can't keep up. The stock of Tide has risen. The number of deaths and injuries has increased with the awareness. It's almost like the more we talk about it, the more people do it. It's just crazy.
Wait, hold on. How many deaths have there been?
I don't know how many deaths there's been. I just know
because this is something that I've been, it's super popular. This comes around every once in a while where it's like, hey, the dangerous things your kids are doing, find out after the commercial at 11. And then it's like, okay, there was one pocket of kids that there were just a bunch of just like, chuckleheads that did this. And then it just gets spread around like this is happening, all over the country, where it's really like, it was like one or two small incidents. And then I think it's more of a joke, all the uploads. I don't think they're just pretending I don't think that there's really been like that much damage being done.
I've seen videos. I've seen kids. They're biting and eating this and then like chasing it with actual detergent. Like they're biting the Tide Pod and then following it by pouring in whatever gallon or small gallon of Tide detergent into their mouth. I've seen it. It's insane.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not stupid.
All right,
It's definitely stupid.
I probably just killed a kid by talking about it right now. That's the sad thing of this is I can effectively tell somebody not to do this, and because we're talking about it, and because we're probably gonna put this as one of the Facebook topics, it's gonna encourage even more. Like this is the sad.
Why this doesn't encourage it? It's just
How else I feel like the more people have talked about it, not specifically podcasts, but the more videos and promos of things saying don't do this, the more people have done it.
well. Well, when you tell kids not to do something, of course they want to do it even more.
All
Like,
right.
that's a here. I looked it up right now.
All right. Well,
Now, according to a new report from the American Association of Poison Control, 86 people have called poison control this year to report Tide Pod. 86. That's it. There are millions and millions of people, millions and millions of teenagers. There's been 86.
all right. So you don't think it's a big deal?
That is not that much.
You don't think it's a big deal then, huh? You're good with this.
No, and it's kind of a little bit of a somber note, but I mean there was a school shooting in Kentucky earlier this week where 2 kids were shot, and I saw something along the lines like we're doing way more to try to prevent kids from eating Tide Pods than trying to prevent kids from getting shot, and just if it's only 86 people have called, I think that it's one of those things that it's sensationalized. It's everybody loves it because it's teens doing stupid stuff, and it's like, oh, when I was their age, I wasn't this stupid. We were doing other stupid stuff,
Were we?
and just it makes it, and it goes around like crazy. And
I really don't think I was ever doing anything in close relation.
oh
to
no,
eating
that's
a
what I'm
Tide.
saying. Only 86 people have called. So that means only 86 people have probably really well. Maybe let's make it like 100 because some people probably got a little sick, didn't actually call. But only 100. If there was only 100 people in town that did something, that would still be like, well, not everyone's really doing it. I remember when, like, it was high school or middle school or college right on there. There was it was like called like the choking game, and it was like all over the news, like, oh, kids all over are doing the choking game, and you like
Choking game?
choked yourself until you almost like passed out, and there's like one kid died or one kid like maybe died. It was like an urban legend. And because I remember my mom asking about like, oh, have you heard about this? And I remember when she asked me, being like, what are you talking about? And like I've never heard of anyone doing this, but according to the news it was sweeping the nation and all the kids were doing it, and it's really dangerous, and you got to talk to your kids about it.
All right. Well, then here's my bigger beef. Then the media, all in all, has done a terrible job of portraying this, a terrible job of advertising this, and overall a terrible job of parenting everyone. I think they had an opportunity to kind of do this the right way, and nobody did. Is that fair to say? Is that not?
What would be your solution to this?
I don't know. I almost feel like if they ignored it, we would have been better off. Like if this was.
Wait, look how much attention it's getting. These are all clicks. This is money, man. This is revenue. This is how it works nowadays.
My point being, if they truly cared about the problem, which nobody cares about the problem, they wouldn't promote it like this or talk about it in this way. They would just sit kids down and talk to them face to face. This is parenting. Anyways, all right. Well, we don't need to talk about how dumb kids are. Let's talk about something we enjoyed from our childhood. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw this article. It's about Skittles. Do you like Skittles? I enjoy Skittles.
Yes.
Do you have a specific color of Skittle that you like?
My favorite color is yellow.
Okay. Now, does that yellow one actually taste better than the red one, or the other colored
Yellow
one?
and red are similar, but purple and yellow are definitely different.
All right, I'm gonna blow your mind because apparently none of these actually taste different at all. I don't think there's a difference between any of the Skittles. I don't know if this is true or not. I have not had Skittles recently. I think it's like something I have around Halloween time, and then that's it. They don't make it back into my diet ever again. Like that's the only time. But so this upcoming Halloween, I'll get a bag of Skittles probably, and I will try to test this out. But there's an alleged article saying that you're all crazy, that these Skittles all taste the same. I don't know. I'm hoping somebody's gonna call in or comment on this and be like, "That's ridiculous." Will Skittles definitely taste different, but at the same time, I'm trying to think about it, and I can't really remember. Like I feel like I always took like a handful of them, anyways. Like it wasn't like I ate one at a time.
Yeah, Usually that's the best method, and I wouldn't say they taste drastically different,
All right. See, that makes
but
me
I
think
think
that
they
you're
do.
already edging. You're like you're playing it safe a little bit right now by not saying no. Will they definitely taste differently? But you're like, well, they're not that different, but there's definitely something different between them. No, there's really not. My guess is there's nothing. These are all just the same multicolored candies.
Mm, I think we're gonna have to go out and eat some Skittles and maybe do a some sort of blind taste test.
All right,
I think
I'm
that's the only
all
way to
for
figure this
that.
out.
That'll be the next YouTube video. All right, I want to do this. I want to actually do a blind taste test and see if anyone can actually tell the difference. Now I'm talking Skittles original, well, not the other whatever multi-million other flavor varieties they have, the sours
No,
and
no, just
regular
regular old
standard bag of
fashioned.
Skittle.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do that. That'll be an upcoming. We'll make that happen. I don't know when. Maybe when you actually come visit out here that we can get that done. Uh,
Ooh, yeah, in person.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, add
fun,
that to the
right?
list.
The listeners they'll like that. You know, we'll chase it with Tide Pods. It'll be perfect. Yours will be blind. You're gonna be blind taste tested. Whatever I give you, that's what's going in. All right. Well, transitioning real quick into one quick topic here. We talked about the crazy eclipse and all that nonsense I saw up in Idaho. We actually have a supermoon that'll be approaching. I think in 4 days from. I think it's the 29th of this month of January, and they're calling it a lunar trifecta. And the only real good segue between this and Skittles is that they're calling them because of the trifecta. It's a blue moon, a super moon, and a blood moon, and none of those color relations have anything to do with those actually mean. So that's kind of interesting for me. But are you excited for any of this, or do I need to explain what each of those mean? Is that going to help?
No, I know what all of them mean.
Okay, what's the blue
I know
moon?
a blue moon because you say once in a blue moon, and that means it's a rare thing because that means that there's two full moons in 1 month.
Yeah, there you go.
So that one is always like, oh, it's a blue moon, like it's kind of a big deal. But to me, it's like, oh, well, it's in the same month, but it's just kind of more how the month felt because the moon still does the same cycle anyway.
Okay, so
Um,
not that cool. Also, very weird that it's a blue moon. Other than the phrase of which you used it perfectly,
right?
why
Yeah,
blue? Why blue? All right, these are like Skittles at this
yeah,
point. They don't. They're all the same.
yeah. So then supermoon just means that it's a full moon when it's the closest, but that's another one where it's kind of misleading because I'm pretty sure I've read where yes, it's closer, but it's really not like you can't really tell with like
the
with,
the
with the
av-
naked eye.
the average eye will not be able to tell the difference at all. You had to be, I don't know, you would have to have I guess a really good angle on it and really good equipment, I think, to truly see the difference, of which it would be so minuscule it would disappoint you from what I read. And then we got the blood moon.
And what was the last one?
The blood moon.
The blood moon. I'm pretty sure that means that the moon gets kind of red because there's some partial lunar eclipse going on.
Exactly that. It is a lunar eclipse. It looks like
Which
you'll
that's the coolest one because
that
that doesn't happen very often and that's cool.
yes. So the lunar trifecta, they're calling it, the supermoon, where all three of these are happening on the same day. Does not happen often. I don't think it's happened in something like 30 years. I don't think the next one's going to happen for 37 years. I believe the west coast of the United States is going to have a better look at it. I don't know how that works, but that's what this article said.
Okay.
Are you excited about this? If you can get a good glimpse at it, I don't know. I imagine you'll be able to see something. It may not be quite as thrilling as it could be out here. Does this do anything for you?
Oh, I'm definitely interested. I don't think it's a cancel all your plans kind of situation, but it's always cool when you find out about these things ahead of time, so you can try to remember and take a look. Do you know if it's a more of a nighttime or more of a morning?
I have no idea. I know there's times listed on there. I didn't bother to pay attention. I figured
Okay.
that'd be that would have been something
Yeah,
helpful.
we
I
don't
could
like
have told.
follow up questions.
Yeah,
That's on me. That's on me. I shouldn't have follow up questions.
I
We've
really
done
should be
just
prepared
the
on that
basic
though,
research.
because if we're providing the listeners with, hey, you should go check this out, and then it's like, ooh, I don't know when, but it's this day. I think the times will depend regionally, anyways. That's probably why I didn't write them down, because I think they're obviously gonna be different for you and different for me.
Yeah, they got they got Google. They can figure it out. They can do a little work part of the
Google
way. Yeah. So
Google the schedule.
one of the listeners, please Google and please let us know how the best way to see it is in Connecticut and the best way to see it in San Diego. That'd be helpful.
Also, go get a bag of Skittles and then call us and tell me if you can taste any difference between them, because I truly believe that there isn't a difference. But you know what? Speaking of things coming back, I know those are just coming back for the first time in quite some time. The XFL is coming back. I'm excited for this because I felt like I was too young to truly recognize and enjoy anything related to the XFL. It was just a documentary and a remember when story from full time fans of decades ago. I feel like it's coming back, 2020. You want to tell the listeners what the
It's not
XFL
that
is?
long ago. Like that's not far away.
It's not that far away. It is. It does feel like it was a long
We're
time
in the
ago.
future.
Do you want to familiarize the fans with what the XFL is? Because I think you should, because I can't. I don't know nothing other
All
than
right,
the
yeah.
documentary stuff.
I mean, the XFL came out when I was a kid, and I know my aunt was like really excited about it, and she was like, "All right, we're gonna watch it." So I remember I watched the opening night of the XFL. The only game I saw. It was created by Vince McMahon, who's the what is his official title for the WWE? He's the guy in charge. He's the president. I'm not sure what his exact
I don't
title
know what
is,
his title
but
is.
he's
I think he would just tell you he's a big deal.
yeah, like I don't know, yeah, I don't know if CEO or emperor, probably whatever he kind of wants to call himself.
Hmm.
And this was a alternative to the NFL, with the idea being this would be a rougher league. It was a little more. It was trying to make it like a little more fun. You could put your nicknames on your jerseys to start off rather than a coin flip. They just did like a man ball drill, which is where you just throw the football out and you got to go run and two guys run and whoever gets it, you get the ball first. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, one of the guys in that scrum broke his arm, so not a
Something like that.
great start. Uh, yeah, so that happened. They had one season. I think it was 2000. It's right around that time frame. It wasn't specifically 2000. So, you know, quite a few years ago now. And now yeah, Vince McMahon, he say he's going to put $100 million into it, and that it's like you said, 2020. There's going to be they're going to play in arenas. There are going to be, I think it's 8 teams. Can you see that?
I didn't see a number of teams yet. It's still, we got time. We got time. 2020 is still a long way from now, and I think the announcement coming now is encouraging, though, especially because I think the NFL needs this. I really do. I think they're losing out on a fan base right now that is seeing too much suspension drama, too much injury drama, and not enough actual hitting. Which this will give you that. If you purely want just that intense, advertised, crazy, over aggressive, just physicality, I think this league is going to provide that with the showmanship. Which you don't always get in the NFL. People, we look at the Patriots right now. They make it to every Super Bowl. What's one exciting thing about the Patriots? Nothing. We're
Yeah, Tom
boring.
Brady, really good at football.
He's good. He's great. But I mean, he's not a showman. He's not a prime time. He's not that guy. He's those guys are all going to be in this league, from my understanding, and that's going to be the big pull, the big draw for this league. Big showmanship, big hits, and a lot of drama. Man-made drama. how
Yeah, I
how
think
sw-
I think that's the angle they have to go with, is to make this more approachable for the average fan through social media. I don't know if it'll be you can Instagram on the sidelines, if you can tweet during the games, just something how there's more interaction. Where the NFL, it's just rigid, like nope, no, none of this,
It's professional.
less fun. I don't think they can go the route they went in 2000 with the hey, how the NFL, they have hits. Oh, we're gonna be like the tough NFL. We're gonna have really big hits. I don't think people really want that, and that's what's causing these injuries. Like I think you see a guy get laid out a couple of times, you're gonna say, hey, you know what, this isn't for me. I mean, we know too much about concussions now, where this isn't a oh well, you got knocked out, but like he'll wake up and he'll be fine. It's like, ooh, we kind of know like that's some real long term ill effects on these guys.
See, that's going to be interesting for me to see whether or not, because I think that was a big part of the original draw of this. I think the other thing that they have to make sure, I don't know what they're going to do about the hits. It'd be cool if they came with some sort of different type of helmet. I mean, these guys aren't professional, so they may need different types of equipment, I think, like especially if they want hitting to be more relevant. Maybe they get better pads or require them to wear a thicker helmet or something. I don't know if that'll really be effective or not, but I would hope if they're going to go that route that they do it responsibly. But the biggest thing I think they have to do for this to work, these tickets have to be affordable. These tickets have to be affordable for everybody. All right, these can't be exclusive primetime suite tickets. These have to be maybe something closer to general admission. I think to make this a super fun fan favorite.
They're going for a family friendly sort of vibe more than the original XFL, which was, like I said, like way more violent. It was a lot of a lot more cheerleaders. Like they were going for like a young male demographic. So I agree with that. Hey, and one on you got to make it for the average person, and I think they're gonna have to go that way. You're not gonna be able to charge a bunch of money for kind of semi-pro guys, but imagine if they get their act together, and I think even in 2 years, if you have the opening day, say it starts in March or April, Super Bowl's been over for a month, 2 months, people always want more football. So you start it in April, right after March Madness ends, and people are, just sure NBA is going on, but not everybody's into the NBA, are just looking for something. You have that going, and the opening night, the premier matchup, Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow. Who is not tuning into that, man?
Yeah, I think that'll be the other thing is there's enough bigger names I think not in the NFL that either something happened or they ended up not being that good. I would love to see Kaepernick play. I think that would be interesting, even though I fully believe he is definitely talented enough to be on an NFL roster, especially with some of the starters in there right now. But I think it'll be interesting. I think those guys would be perfect for this league to kind of get the kind of like the basketball 3-on-3, the big three, which they're signing a lot more names and coming back for another season. I'm happy about that. I know it was a bit of a struggle year one. Maybe they figured some things out and they can come back this year and provide an even better summertime entertainment. Because unless the Olympics are going on, it's tough in the summer. It's a wide open. Anybody could take this. This could become a trend for a long time if executed properly.
Oh, yeah, that's why I agree. And I've heard a lot of people poo-pooing it and saying, "Oh, this isn't going to work. This and this and this." Let's give it a chance. Why?
I'm
Why
willing.
are we? Yeah, why are we trying to prevent more football, more entertainment?
I think it'll be able to provide all of the college excitement we get, but I guess in a little bit more controlled or uncontrolled environment. I don't know what's the better direction that it'll
Oh,
go.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No,
These guys are going to
people
be
aren't going to
better.
like the XFL more than the majority of people are not going to like the XFL
All right,
more
are the
than
players
college
going to be
football.
better in the XFL than in college?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I see that right there. That question has to be a yes if they want to have a shot at this, or at least very very close. Right? I don't see how
Though
this is going to work otherwise.
it's got to be entertaining, and that's what I'm saying. Is that if you have a decent product, but like I said, if you can be interacting with the quarterback, you know, talking to him somehow, Snapchatting with him during the game, there's got to be something that sort of aspect to it.
Yeah. All right, transitioning into something else here. You know what an easier way to make money for the XFL will be is to copyright something else and not get in trouble for it. Well, that was kind of exactly what happened here. A lot of people are familiar with this meme, or I think that's what they call it, of the grumpy cat. Everybody knows who the grumpy cat is. I think they know what the deal is. The grumpy cat, it never smiles. Apparently, the grumpy cat partnered up with, I think, a T-shirt maker or a coffee maker. That's what it was, and they were gonna call it a grumpy chino or something like that, something ridiculous. And they ended up making that. They made a deal. There was a payment or some sort of agreed deal between the Grumpy Cat and this coffee place. And I guess the coffee place did something else. They used the Grumpy Cat in some other form. And that wasn't okay because they didn't give him permission to use the Grumpy Cat Coffee House or whatever they ended up following up and doing it with. And the Grumpy Cat just recently was awarded $710,000 for a copyright lawsuit. I'll remind you again that this is just a cat that doesn't smile that was then posted on social media and then shared wildly and constantly used all the time. Was just awarded $710,000. So what are we gonna come
Well,
up with?
like you said, it's famous. Everybody knows about it, and there was breach of contract.
So
Seems
what?
pretty straightforward.
It is straightforward. That's not really the main part of the story. I just want to have a chance to talk about how a grumpy cat right now, a picture, not even the actual cat, just a picture of this cat, has now gained somebody $710,000, and that's just from this
No,
lawsuit.
that was just the damages.
Yes, that doesn't
That's
even
just the
include.
damages. So think how much they made in the contract originally.
Yeah, that doesn't even include everything else.
This is probably a multi-million-dollar cat.
Who doesn't smile?
Doesn't smile, not even friendly. Think
Would you?
about us. We're a little column A, little column B. We're friendly.
We are friendly, but my point is that doesn't even sound like a cat I want to own. I don't want a cat that doesn't smile. Or do I want a cat that
Do you
doesn't
want
smile
coffee
because
sold by that cat?
I say, do I want the cat that doesn't smile now because maybe it makes me millions?
Nah, doesn't seem worthwhile.
No,
I'm gonna stick with my happy animals. Yeah, why is this cat so grumpy?
I don't
You ever
know.
think about that?
What do you think this is ownership abuse? Do you
Yeah,
think
I
you
don't
can?
know. I mean, I
Do you
don't
want
want to, insinuate anything, but I mean,
You know what? That is
why is it
probably
so
the
grumpy?
smarter approach. Is this person has made so much money off this person having a grumpy cat? Maybe somebody could sue them and take over the cat. Be like, I know how to take care of a grumpy cat. You don't. Clearly this cat's always pissed off.
Yeah.
That does sound like
Please
some.
take a look at my cat. My cat's happy.
Oh my god! I just
Exhibit A.
we're 40 minutes into the podcast. I know we haven't done this in a while. I just can't believe that we're living in a world right now where kids are eating Tide Pods and Skittles all taste the same, and grumpy cats are making millions of dollars. And
I mean, we took 1 week off, and this is what happens.
I know this is exactly what happens. You can't be.
This might be a little bit on us.
Are we too
I'm
far?
going to apologize to the listeners. This might be a little bit on me, a little bit on Will. I'm just going to apologize.
Oh man,
We got to be better.
we gotta be better.
We got to save America.
You know what? We gotta have goals just like every other team. And I saw a very cool goal, which I don't even know. They might have already blown it or not, but I saw the 76ers head coach talking about if they win their next 8 games, either he'll buy them tickets to the Super Bowl or they'll have permission to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't see the actual details of it, but player incentive. I like that. I'm all right with this. I think that's cool. The game itself will be in Minnesota, and they aren't in Minnesota, but I suppose when you're NBA, the NBA lifestyle will get you there, right? Who's buying the ticket here? And are you okay with this kind of player incentive?
Well, they lost the next game.
All right, so that's out.
So they kind of killed it, and it was too bad because I felt like it would have been really fun if even they just went like on a 3-game win streak, and then that 4th game all of a sudden like, you're really gonna start getting into that. And I like the idea of it. You're already supposed to be winning games, but I think it could have made for a really cool story. Even it doesn't even matter whether the coach pays for it or they pay for it. Like you said, they all got NBA money. They're all good. I don't know how exactly logistically that works because they're the Sixers and maybe they were in the area. I don't know. Maybe they were going to be allowed to skip a game. I don't know, but I like the idea. It sounded fun.
It sounded fun, and it sounded ridiculous at the time. And then I kind of looked at the schedule. I was like, oh, he knows they're not going to win 8 games. He knows. So
It's hard. It's really hard to win 8 games.
It's not easy to begin with, but I just from a coaching standpoint, I feel like certain coaches could make that statement about their team, and he could safely make this saying, "It's okay. We're not going to end up in Minnesota. This is all right.
We'll be good. Yeah,
we'll be fine." I am excited for the Sixers, and I do wish they would win more games because I want to see them in the playoffs. They got to get in. They got to get in. All right, Embiid, Simmons, more triple doubles. They got to get in. They're getting in. I made the predictions.
Yeah.
Making predictions, but
I'm not making it.
I thought it was cool. I wish more coaches had, or maybe they do. Maybe they're just not public. I like that.
No, I thought it was fun. Yeah, and I'd be down for more of this. How many NBA games do I have to win for you to pay for me to go to the Super Bowl?
How many did they play in the year?
82.
That many.
This is gonna be difficult.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
But if you win,
I haven't yet to be drafted. I'm hoping this year's my year.
we'll make it to the Super Bowl once the podcast blows up and we don't know what else to do with ourselves. We'll be hosting, all right. We're gonna be at Media Day soon, all right. Little column A, little column B, all right. We're on iTunes. We got a website. We got a realtor website, soldbywill.com. We got a Twitter name, which is yours, Wicked Z-Man 24. What is it?
Yeah, there it is.
24.
Yeah, no, you got it.
We're growing here. We're getting bigger. Speaking of becoming more popular, one more transition real quick here. Peter King had quite the interesting week here. How does this happen exactly? Where you tweet out your cell phone number and yeah, how does that just happen?
So what I believe he was trying to do was he was trying to get a hold of a PR person to get a hold of, I don't remember exactly the specific player. I believe it was somebody on the a defensive player on the Patriots. Wanted to get them for an interview, wanted to get some inside information, however that works. And I believe he was trying to DM someone on Twitter and then accidentally tweeted that out. He figured it out pretty quickly and shut it down. And by the next day, he had, got a new number and had to kind of put that all to the side. But he said that he did receive a whole bunch of calls right around 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's got a Fitbit, and so anyone that has a Fitbit knows that when you get a phone call, it gives you a little vibrate to let you know. And so they called him so many times that he had to just like take the thing off. But my bigger question on that was, what celebrity phone number would you hope that you could get your hands on in this leak sort of situation to be able to like reach out to him?
All right, I probably could have thought about this a little bit more, but I came up with 3 pretty random names. These are literally just what came off the top of my head. Like, you could have asked me right now, and it would have been these names. I'm gonna say Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban sounds like an interesting guy. I want to talk to him. He'd be beneficial. I think he'd have cool things to say. And that's a good one. Donald Glover was another one that came up. I just think he's another just an interesting guy, all right? The guy has a stand-up special. He's got music albums. He's been in TV shows. He's written for multiple shows.
A little bit of everything.
So I think that'd be another cool guy to give a call to. Like, hey, man, what are you up to? Like, just because they always have so much. These 2 guys specifically always have so much going on that I just want to see what's next. What's going on.
Right.
And then lastly is Giada. I just want to know what she's cooking right now. Hey, how you doing? What are you wearing? What's going on? I think that those are my 3. I think that's a pretty solid 3 list right there.
All right, we'll take this time to officially invite Mark Cuban, Childish Gambino, and Giada. Anytime you would like to be on the pod, open invite.
Anytime. Or you can just call me. I'll give you my number. It's even easier. Here you go. 619-857-0835. All right. that's the private line.
You get here.
It's the private line too. Ask for Will.
Yeah, see, I figured you were gonna come around and ask me what phone number I wanted, and I wanted your phone number.
There
so I
you
just
go.
Got it, so
boom, you
that
got
just
it.
True for me.
All right, I bet your list isn't as good as mine. What do you got? You got anybody?
I just told you it was your phone number, and now I have it.
Oh man, let's hear your weak list because mine's a good list, and it made a lot of sense.
That's where I set the bar.
All right.
I didn't really have a specific list. You were way more prepared than I was.
Oh man,
because there's like so many directions you can go with this.
I know. I tried to make it like, all right, it could have been a super hot girl, but then I was like, I don't just want it to be a pretty face. It's a phone call, So it's gotta be.
What good is that gonna do?
Yeah, and so I kind of like the way her voice sounds. I know a lot of people are annoyed by it, so I like her voice. And then I think, like I said, Mark Cuban and Donald Glover, they have so much going on between businesses and fun, creative stuff all the time. I just want to know what they're working on. So that I feel like can be accomplished in a phone call.
Yeah, because there's so much directions you can go in. I like the direction you went into, because then it's like, well, do you go after someone that's that's really cool and you just want to be like, hey, you're a cool guy, or do you want to get someone that you really don't like, and so you can just berate them? Just a whole bunch of directions. You went in a real nice direction, just a nice group of people there, all different industries. Yeah, you're on top of it. I'm just gonna go. Anytime I find a celebrity leaked a phone number, I'm just gonna give it to you.
Give it to me. All right, let me make the call. All right, and then maybe
I'll let you. Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call Mark so he can give me Donald's number, and then Donald will maybe give me Giada's number. See how this works? So you got to give me the first number. So maybe Peter King
All
knows
right.
Mark, and then we can go on from there.
I'm liking this. This seems like just
All
like
right.
some real good networking here.
All right. The other funny part of this all started with Peter King trying to give out his number to another reporter. I wonder if that reporter ever got back to him on that phone number, or if he had to then redo the entire thing when he got a new number. Do you think those two were ever connected?
I think so.
You think so? Part of me thinks he just gave up. He was like, "Look, I've tried to do. I went above and beyond my job, and this is what happened. I should have just stayed inside my little reporter box, and and I did too much."
Nah, he seems like a guy. He's been in the business for a long time. That he knows, like, oh, yeah, well, this is what I got to do, and this I got to get a new number, and I'm probably gonna get hurt a little bit, and that sucks. But okay, well, I still got to get my job done. I still got to write got to write the column. Just a guy's guy. Real pro.
All right, we're at about the 51-minute mark here, and we're gonna close it out with one more thing. And we're gonna pick some more people. But this time, we're gonna pretend we are people. I'm gonna pretend I'm. Or you want to be LeBron or Curry? Who do you want to be? I'm gonna pretend I'm LeBron, or you want to be Curry?
You get to choose.
All right, I'm going to be LeBron James. And for those of you that don't know, we have a fun thing. I think it's going to be fun, although this won't be televised. The result of it should still be fun. The NBA All-Star game this year, the voting system was the same as last year, but the teams are going to be drafted by two guys. LeBron James and Stephen Curry will represent both their conferences in the Eastern and Western Conference, and they get to choose from the variety of lists of players that were just nominated for the starters and for the reserves. I like this idea. I think this really freshens things up. I think there's a lot of inner drama stories between, Westbrook and Harden, Westbrook and Durant, and then Harden and everybody, and Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins somehow managed to getting a start. I think this will be exciting. I think this could be a little extra juice. I wish they were televising this though. They're not going to televise this, right?
No, and that's been the big argument, and it's trying to figure out because there's one route where people are saying, oh well, whoever gets picked, last or second to last, they're going to be upset and they don't want that shown on TV. And then there's been another path of people saying, like, well, that has nothing to do with it. It all has to do with, of course, how everything. This is probably more like the situation has to do with money and the CBA and the agreement between the players and the owners and who gets the money and who gets how much and just like money just ruining something that would have been so much fun to watch. So many levels.
All right. Well, because you guys aren't going to be able to watch it, we're going to perform it for you. So this is exactly how it's about to go. All right. We're about to do it live in real time right now. We're going to leak the rosters. All right. Are you ready for them?
All right, but before we start, here's what we're looking to do: this is not a team you're looking to build to like play against the aliens. This is the team you're looking to win the All-Star game. So you're going in knowing not a lot of defense is going to be played. Like you're going in, that you got to go in with that mindset. So we're also not. I'm pretending to be Steph Curry. But I'm not trying to get in the mind of Steph Curry and pick guys that he would pick. I'm picking a team against Will of these All-Stars that I'm trying to get to beat Will's team in an All-Star game, not in a real game, and you have to pick the starters first before you can pick bench players.
Okay. With that being said, if you do, all right, pick as you would. But if you think Curry personally would go a different way, make sure you mention that. I believe you got the first pick, or I got the first pick. Who has it? LeBron.
You have the first pick.
LeBron's got the first pick.
Yep.
And I have to pick starters first. So quickly, I'll just list off the
Yep.
starters. I got DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Giannis Antetokounmpo, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, and James Harden. And my first pick would be. I feel like you have to go Kevin Durant. Like it's clearly he's the best player on the board. But does LeBron want to personally play with Kevin Durant? Like that's where this kind of gets a little dramatic here. So I'm gonna go with James Harden. I'll take James Harden.
Ooh, curveball. All right, let me just mark that down that you picked. Why James Harden? Coming off an injury? What's the thoughts there?
I personally don't think LeBron's gonna want a Warrior on his team, and it's gonna be a tough draft right now to do that. And I would have went Giannis, but it's not really a defensive game like you said, so I went with an offensive guy. Which my next offensive options were Harden, Kyrie Irving, or DeMar DeRozan, and I don't think he wants Anthony Davis or DeMarcus. You can't take those guys to the top. And I don't think he wants to play with Kyrie, so I went with Harden.
All right. I think that you made a mistake because I think that Harden's coming off an injury, and I think that he's not going to play that much.
That's
But
fine.
for my pick, I will happily pick Kevin Durant because both he's the best player on the board, and it's a real easy Steph move because like, hey, I got the guy that's on my team during the regular season. He's a guard, picking a forward, so now there's some balance there, and now he's gonna look real good in the locker room. Like, hey man, I picked my guy first.
All right, I'm gonna follow that up. I'm gonna bounce back with some size here. I'm gonna take Anthony Davis because I think he's very versatile. Uh, I
Excellent pick.
I personally think DeMarcus Cousins is better, but in this kind of all-star situation, I don't really know what to expect out of Boogie. Like that just seems like kind of a coin flip for me. I might get I might get good aggressive Boogie, or I might get I'm gonna shoot half court shots Boogie, and I don't want that DeMarcus. I don't want that one. So, anyways, proceed with the sixth overall pick. Then would be for you your second pick.
My pick is going to be Giannis.
Yeah, you want to try that last name? You want me to say it one more time?
Go ahead. You know what? You have that Greek heritage in you, and I do not, and I don't want to butcher it and get all of our Greek fans mad at me.
It's very simple. Atentacumbo. All right, it's Giannis Atentacumbo.
Yeah. It's all easy until you try to say it, and then you look like an idiot.
It's
But I don't need to say his name. He's one of the guys that I picked, and this is what I was really hoping was going to happen, that you were going to mess up and not pick Giannis. I thought for sure you were going to go Kevin Durant first, and I was just hoping I could get to Giannis. And here's the reason why. Do you remember last year's All-Star game?
no. Oh,
Well, it was boring, so that makes a lot of
Giannis
sense.
dunked all over Curry. I remember that.
Giannis dunked all over Curry, so Curry kind of joked that he was going to grab him so that wouldn't happen again. Curry led the East in points, tied in rebounds, and I don't know if you remember, but there were a couple times in the game when everyone was real lackadaisical, and I don't know if Giannis didn't care or didn't know, but he played some defense on some guys, and you only need like a couple of times for them to do that, and there's gonna be a lot of dunks in this game, and Giannis can sure dunk, and he can euro step around people. And if it gets competitive, he is ready to go. And if it's not competitive, he might also be ready to go.
All right, and my next pick, I'm gonna need a scorer here. I either got to go with, and he's got to be a guard. I feel like although I could totally make Steph guard somebody else, or either of these guys will have to guard me if we go big. Now you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go Kyrie Irving. I think LeBron doesn't want to draft him early, but he does want him back on his team and in his life because he has a terrible plus minus right now. So I'll go with Kyrie Irving.
Ooh, how much fun? How much fun will that be?
It's this sort of situation. It's gonna happen. Like I don't know who it's gonna be. I don't think Curry's gonna want him on his team either. You think Curry's gonna want to go at him?
Maybe. I really don't know. The mindset of these guys. Now they're like a year removed, and there's different teams, and how much of it is media created that they don't like each other, and how much of it is like no, we don't really like each other, because it's not like you have to be together for a season. You're together for what one practice and then one spectacle.
I also, as much as I don't think LeBron will draft him early, I think LeBron kind of wants him. I drafted you on my team, and he wants to say that one more time.
Ooh, like yeah, I got my guy,
Yeah,
my young kid.
I think he wants to say that one more time, and he won't take him early. But I think if he's there late, he's gonna want to say that. All right, moving on. Who you got left here? You got Joel Embiid, DeMar,
Hmm.
and DeMarcus are left.
I'm gonna go with DeMar. DeMar's having a great year. I've already got the forwards. I could use another guard. I really like what DeMar's doing this year. He's really put in the effort. He's hitting threes now, and I think that in these All-Star games, half of it is dunking and half of it is shooting, and he'll definitely have the shooting locked down. He could definitely score in the mid-range, so I could definitely see similar with like Kyrie, kind of wheeling and dealing a little bit, little shake and bake. DeMar could do the same thing, so I'm gonna go with DeMar DeRozan.
All right, I'm put in a very difficult situation here, having to pick between two guys I stand up for very routinely on this podcast, both DeMarcus
I
Cousins
did
and
this on purpose. I knew
Joel
this.
Embiid. This is this is all you wanted to hear. You didn't. This is why they're not putting this on pub. This is why it's not a public draft. This right here, because I don't think there's a wrong answer. There's probably a more right answer. And I'm gonna take Joel. I'm gonna go with Embiid. I really don't think. I think LeBron. It's not that he doesn't want DeMar, that he wants you to have the problems. He's passing on him on purpose. So you can have.
Perfect.
I'm taking Joel. And these are our starting lineups right now. And you have DeMarcus. All right, so let's go. We hit the whole hour right now, so let's go a little speed round on the next couple picks. So you're gonna end up with DeMarcus, obviously, and I'm gonna pick with
Yep.
my first one. Let's go with. I'll take Russell Westbrook because that
Ooh.
sounds like a lock.
All right. I didn't expect you to start making smart decisions now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see who you got left.
I'm gonna go with, since you went there, I'm gonna go John Wall.
John Wall. All right. I will counter with. Give me Jimmy Butler.
I believe he's gonna be hurt and will not play, but that doesn't really matter for this. I am going to go with Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. Yeah, Wizards. Nobody wants that. No, nobody wants it. They don't even want him on his own team. Let me. I'll go with. Let's see. You took John Wall. Yeah. Give me some Porzingis. Give me the zinger.
Ooh, the zinger.
All right. And what do you got left here?
All right. Well, I'm gonna counter since you went with a zinger. I'm gonna go with Cat. Karl Anthony Towns. Cat gonna get that yarn.
Nah, nobody's scared of him.
Hey man, he just doesn't play defense, but he can play offense.
All right. LeBron is going to try and make this a scouting thing, so he's going to take Klay Thompson.
Ooh, I thought you said he wasn't gonna want any Warriors.
He's not, but I think Klay isn't like a true warrior. He's very quiet. I feel like he stays to himself. He hasn't done anything to personally tick LeBron off, versus everybody else has. And at some point, if that dynasty ever breaks up in there, I think LeBron is going to be the first one to call Klay to say, "Hey, come play with me."
All right. For my next pick, I'm gonna go with Dame Dollar.
I wanted to go.
Well, Dame Lillard. I think he's in there. I think he's a little angry. I think he might have a little bit of that Russell Westbrook, just kind of like, hey, you know what? I don't care. This is just an All-Star game. I'm gonna go hard and I'm gonna show everybody that I'm supposed to be here.
Next, give me Victor Oladipo.
Ooh, good pick. I wanted him.
And that is just
Guy that can dunk. It's always good.
funny. Well, funny thing is that he switched spots with Paul George and switched conferences at the same time, and now he's an All-Star. And he wasn't even the last pick.
Mm. No, not at all. He's having a year. For my next pick, I'm gonna go. Gotta go another big man. I'm going to LaMarcus Aldridge. He's having a year out there in San Antonio.
Man, I was really hoping you were going to go with either Al or Draymond. Because now you're forcing me. You're forcing me to
Draymond
choose.
can't shoot.
I will. Oh man, see. Does LeBron want Kevin Love or Al Horford? I think Kevin Love will be more fun. I'll give me that. Kevin Love.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta go with Big Al. I don't think he's gonna play a whole bunch. But you know what? He's gonna go out there. He's gonna pass the ball. He's gonna give it to people in good spots. He's gonna be a good teammate.
All right, that leaves us with Kyle Lowry and Draymond Green, right?
Yep.
And I will take Kyle Lowry because there's no way he's picking Draymond, and I wanted Draymond to be the last pick.
Draymond is the last pick.
Draymond
goes
Green.
to me.
All right. Well, we will write these down. I'll maybe post them on the website. Make sure you check out the website, lcalcb.wordpress.com. You can also check out soldbywill.com, / little column A, little column B should get you there. Check out soldbywill.com for all your San Diego real estate needs. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, soldbywill. Check out Zach's Twitter name, which is
Wicked Z-Man 24.
You'll see all his crazy movie updates and what he's got an opinion on pretty regularly in live time. Don't have to wait for the podcast. So check that out and make sure you listen to the podcast, share it, comment. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to have the timestamps today. Everything's growing. We're going to go in the right direction. I want to thank all the listeners, as always, for listening. Anything else you want to add?
We will have a Super Bowl preview next week, and in the meantime, yeah, get excited, watch some basketball, have some fun.
Getting excited. All right, I'm excited for the All-Star break. I'm excited for the NBA. I'm excited to try some Skittles. Remember those. All right, I'm trying to recap the whole show here, but definitely more Super Bowl stuff going forward, and maybe guest appearance. I don't know. Maybe I got a pretty good Philly guy. Maybe we'll get him on the show. We'll see. But we'll be back. We'll be back soon. Thank you as always for listening. Little column A, little column B.